I'm outside today. It's the middle of the day, and have a little bit of allergies, so I'm drinking some metal tea to help with my nose. But I have a little bit of time between work things, so I decided to just hop on here and share what's been going through my mind. I've been thinking lately that life is a lot like a game, and one of the most defining things about games is that you either win or you lose, and that's not what I'm talking about. When I say that life is a game, it feels like there's a playfulness to it. Like I walked outside earlier today and saw how big everything was in comparison to me and thought at this particular time, there's so many different things happening around the world. And there's no way that I can be a part of it. And I'm doing my own thing. I'm just walking outside and nobody would know that I'm out here walking outside alone. And I think it's just magnificent that we're all happening at the same time. So it kind of takes away the stress of making big decisions, of making mistakes, of being afraid to do new things because you don't know. I mean, backing up, you don't really have as big of an impact on the world as you think you do when you make very small decisions that might scare you or decisions that just feel like they're out of your comfort zone. It really boils down to your personal experience and your small circle that at the same time is very individual from everything else outside in the world, but it's also connected to it. So at the same time, yes, you could make a really big impact with some of your decisions, but there's this kind of freedom that comes in realizing that a lot of the decisions that you make every day will not really matter ultimately in the grand scheme of things. So I try to remind that of myself when things get really difficult. That um, I'm here to have fun with reality. I'm here to play with my avatar, my identity. I'm here to make this turn in the road, this turn in the road, go back and make another turn. I have the free will to do that, and I'm blessed to be able to do that, as a lot of us are. For as long as I can remember, I've always been a future oriented person. I always think about what's going to happen as a result of my actions. And a lot of times I'll scare myself out of making a decision because I'm afraid of it going wrong or failing in it. And actively every day I try to, uh, I guess, fight that instinct because I know it doesn't serve me, it doesn't help me. And I want to be able to have a more well-rounded perspective of things, to be able to see not only the future, but see the past, see the present, and see how they all link together and how all of them are important. But I've always been one to put a lot of emphasis on the future. A lot of times I'm projecting into the future and thinking of what's going to happen next. And there's this kind of anxiety that comes with that. I've always thought that anxiety is tied to being overly obsessed with the future, and depression is tied to being overly obsessed with the past. And the present moment is really where we stand and exist. But what's so uncomfortable about it is that it's quiet and that it's kind of really hard to pin down because if we look at the past, we have records of it. We have recordings, we have pictures, we have oral histories, people telling the past. So it feels more concrete than the present sometimes. And then on the other hand, the future, we can definitely visualize what's going to go wrong. So our visualizations, it seems to me that visualizing the future is a lot the future in a negative way is a lot easier than visualizing it in a positive way. And I've also been trying to reprogram that part of myself to be able to see the future um, as positive or negative, not always negative. But in times like this where I'm between work sessions and it's kind of quiet, I like to fill the time with doing things like scrolling or um, watching things or just kind of busying my mind. It's not really stuff that gives me fulfillment, but it's something to do. And I've been finding myself stepping away from that more often and finding ways to be comfortable with stillness rather than run away from it. Because those parts of your day are just as equally as important as the busy, productive parts of your day. It's what makes you better at the productive parts. And not just that, it allows you to remember who you really are, to remember the state that you were born from, the state that you're going to pass into when you pass away. It's the state of nothingness, of stillness, and there's a certain beauty in that. And I try to remind myself to be grateful for that stillness instead of disregarding it as unimportant.